Okay, Assalamualaikum and hello again everyone. It's me Dr. Fatia here. Today I will give a lecture on the integumentary system. Okay, make sure you fill in the attendance form. Okay, I attached the link below, right, in the Microsoft Teams. Alright, so without further ado, let's begin. The integument is also known as the skin. Okay, as you may have already known, it is the largest system of the human body. Okay, it covers up to 2 meters square in area, and the integument is made up of two parts. Right, first part is the cuteness membrane, which is the skin, and the second part is the accessory structure. Alright, for the cutaneous membrane, it has two components. First, the outer epidermis, okay, which has the superficial epithelium or epithelial tissues that you have learned yesterday. And second, the inner dermis, which has the connective tissues. For the accessory structures, they are located inside the dermis and it extends through the epidermis, okay, to skin surface. Okay, so the accessory structures example are hair, nails, and glands. Okay. Here is the image of the components of the integumentary system. Right? For the skin layers, we have epidermis, and then followed by dermis and hypodermis. So the hair, which is part of the accessory structure, as you can see in the image here, the hair follicles, okay, it protrudes from the dermis to the epidermis. Alright, here are some of the functions of the skin. So skin plays a big role to protect the underlying tissues and organs. Okay? Okay, glands also part of the epithelial tissue, okay, by the glands. In the integumentary system, they excrete salts, water, and organic waste, okay, outside the skin. Skin is also important in maintaining body temperature, okay? And moreover, skin stores lipids, especially in the hypodermis layer, and skin is capable to detect touch, pressure, and pain and temperature. Alright, we start first with the first layer of the skin, the epidermis. The epidermis consists of the superficial epithelium, which is avascular stratified squamous epithelium. Avascular means lack of blood vessels. So if the epidermis doesn't have blood vessels, how do they get nutrients and oxygen? So it is from the capillaries, which is located in the dermis, okay, to supply the nutrients and oxygen to the epidermis. And if you look at this image in this slide, you can see that there are epidermal ridges, okay, on the bottom surface of the epidermis. Okay. The epidermal ridges fit the complementary pattern of projection in the dermis, which is called the dermal papilla. Okay. So both the epidermal ridges and dermal papilla will increase the attachment between the epithelium and vessel lamina or basement membrane. Okay, the cells of the epidermis are called keratinocytes. Okay, by now when you hear the word cyte, it means a cell. So keratinocytes are keratin cells. They are the most abundant cells in the epidermis. The epidermis has thin skin and thick skin. For thin skin, it covers almost the whole body. And thin skin has 4 layers of keratinocytes. Meanwhile, for thick skin, it only covers the palms of the hands and soles of the feet. Okay? And compared to thin skin, thick skin has 5 layers. So it has 1 more additional layer compared to thin skin. Alright, here are the images showing you the difference between thin skin and thick skin. Okay? For thick skin, it has 1 additional layer of keratinocytes, which is called the stratum lucidum. Okay? So the 5 layers or 5 strata of keratinocytes from the basal lamina, okay, to free surface. Okay, I'm showing you the order from basal lamina to free surface. So start from basal lamina is stratum germinativum, followed by stratum spinosum, then stratum granulosum, next stratum lucidum, and the upper layer is stratum corneum. Okay. So here are the labelings of all 5 layers. Again, stratum lucidum is only appeared in the thick skin. Okay, so this image has stratum lucidum, means that this image is thick skin. Alright, first, stratum germinativum or stratum basale. So the word germinativum comes from the germinative cells, means stem cells. Okay, this layer is attached to the basal lamina by cell junction. Okay, called hemidesmosome. Okay, remember the cell junction I mentioned yesterday about desmosome and hemidesmosome, right? Okay, so the stratum germinativum is important to form the epidermal ridges. Okay, for your information, fingerprints are the pattern, okay, of the epidermal ridges on your fingers. Alright, here is the zoom image of fingerprints, okay, that come from the epidermal ridges. Okay, we are still in the topic of stratum germinativum. The 2 specialized cells in this stratum germinativum, you need to know. First, Merkel cell, okay, and second, melanocytes. For Merkel cells, they respond to touch stimuli. And for melanocytes, they contain the melanin pigment, which gives the color to human skin, also to hair and eye color. Okay. Next, stratum spinosum or the spiny layer. Okay. So the division of cells in stratum germinativum, it will produce stratum spinosum. Okay. There are about 8 to 10 layers of keratinocytes in this stratum spinosum. So the important cells in this layer, in this stratum spinosum, are called dendritic or Langerhans cells. Okay? So these dendritics or Langerhans cells can stimulate immune response, okay, after sensing any kind of danger in the skin. Okay? So next stratum is stratum granulosum, okay, which is the grainy layer. So in this stratum granulosum, the cells have stopped dividing and start producing keratin and keratohyalin. The keratin is a tough fibrous protein that makes the hair and nails. Next stratum is stratum lucidum. Okay, this stratum is only appeared in the thick skin. Okay, remember, only in thick skin. It is also known as the clear layer. And the top layer or the top stratum is stratum corneum. Okay, or the nickname for stratum corneum is the horn layer. Okay, this layer is exposed on the skin surface. Okay, it is the thickest stratum which contains 15 to 30 layers of the keratinite cells. And this stratum corneum is water resistant and it can shed and is replaced around 2 to 4 weeks depending on the individual. Okay. Okay, let's talk about keratinization. Okay, keratinization is the formation of keratin. Okay, keratin, which is a layer of dead and protective cells. So keratinization process occurs on all exposed skin surfaces, okay, except the eyes. So this process is like a skin life cycle, and it takes about 15 to 30 days for a skin cell to move from stratum germinativum to stratum corneum. Okay, therefore, as a take-home message, you should not scrub your face every day. Okay, remember, because it will not give time for your skin to regenerate if you keep scrubbing your face every day, and it will also damage your skin. It will make your skin thinner. Alright, we have covered the epidermis. Now move to the dermis. Okay, the dermis is located between the epidermis and the hypodermis or subcutaneous layer. So there are two components in the dermis, outer papillary layer and deep reticular layer. For the papillary layer, it consists of areolar tissue. Okay, refresh back your memory on the connective tissues. In papillary layer of the dermis, everything is smaller. Okay, such as capillaries, small capillaries, lymphatics, and sensory neurons. But for the reticular layer, it consists of the dense irregular connective tissue. Okay, and everything is large in this reticular layer. Okay, it contains larger blood vessels, lymph vessels, and nerve fibers. Okay, and in the reticular layer, it also contains collagen and elastic fibers. Alright, for the blood supply in the dermis, it has papillary plexus at the dermal papilla. Okay, remember at the top layer of the dermis. Okay, and in the cutaneous plexus, the blood supply in the cutaneous plexus, it located at the dermal hypodermal junction. Okay, so to make you easy remember, papillary plexus at the upper part of the dermis, but while the cutaneous plexus is the lower part of the dermis. Alright, the third layer of skin is the hypodermis. Okay, it is a loose connective tissue type. Okay, this is because the hypodermis is made of areola and adipose tissues. The hypodermis is connected to the deep reticular layer of the dermis by connective tissue fibers. And this layer is the site for subcutaneous injection. Okay. Alright, now we move to the accessory structures such as hair, sebaceous glands, sweat glands, and nails. Alright, the accessory structures are located in the dermis, okay, and project through the skin surface. Okay, we start first with hair. Human body is covered with hair except in the palms, soles, lips, and some portions of external genitalia. Okay, the hair is important to protect from heat, or from cold. Okay, it guards the openings against particles and insects. For example, the hair in your nose. Okay, and the hair is also sensitive to light touch. Okay, this is an image of a hair follicle. The hair follicle is wrapped with a connective tissue sheath, and is located in the dermis. Okay? The base of hair follicle, okay, has a root hair plexus. Okay, you can see in the image here the location of the root hair plexus. Okay, which is a sensory nerve. That's why the hair can be responsive to the light touch. So two important accessory structures of hair are erector pili and sebaceous gland. Okay, the erector pili is an involuntary smooth muscle. Okay, so contraction of the erector pili muscles can cause the hair to stand up straight, which produce goosebumps. Okay, when you watch ghost story, okay, right, you feel goosebumps, right? So it is produced by this erector pili muscle, which pull the hair and cause the hair to stand up. Okay. Alright, for the sebaceous glands, it is important to produce secretion to lubricate the hair. Okay, it's like the natural hair oil. Alright, the two regions of the hair. First, hair root, which is the lower part of the hair. Okay, and it is attached to the dermis. Okay, and second is the hair shaft. Okay, hair shaft is the upper part of the hair. Okay, and the hair shaft is not attached to the integument. Okay, it is freely exposed on the skin. Alright, easy for you to differentiate, right? Hair root and hair shaft. Okay, for hair structure, okay, so you can see this image. This is the cross-section image of hair structure. We have medulla, the central core of the hair. Okay, and then the cortex, which is the middle layer of the hair, and cuticle, the outer layer of the hair. And here again, another angle of image showing you the layers in hair follicles. Okay. Alright, next the accessory structure is gland. Okay, the two exocrine glands in the skin are sebaceous and sweat glands. For sebaceous glands, they are holocrine glands. Okay, remember the mode of secretion, holocrine gland, and they secrete sebum, which is the oily substance. Okay, do you still remember the mode of secretion for the exocrine glands? Okay, the three mode of secretion, but this one is holocrine. Okay. For then next is sweat glands. They have two types of sweat glands, apocrine and merocrine. So sweat glands secrete watery secretion. Okay, sebaceous secrete oily secretion, sweat glands secrete watery secretion. Okay, let's look into the types of sebaceous glands. First, sebaceous glands that are associated with the hair follicles, it is a simple branch alveolar glands. Okay, second, sebaceous follicles, which is secreted directly on the skin surface. Okay, so meaning that sebaceous follicles does not attach to the hair follicle. So the sebum produced by sebaceous glands contain mainly lipids. Okay. The sebum lubricates and protects the epidermis. Also, the sebum may inhibit bacterial growth on the epidermis. Okay. Here are the images of sebaceous follicles and sebaceous glands. Okay, remember, sebaceous follicle does not attach to the hair follicles. Okay, it secretes directly through the skin surface. Okay. Alright, after we're done with sebaceous gland, let's look into sweat glands. Okay, they are apocrine and merocrine. Okay, first for apocrine sweat glands, they are located in armpits, around nipples and groin area. Okay, they produce secretions into the hair follicles. Right, remember, into the hair follicles. Okay, the secretions are sticky and cloudy, and they are also responsible for body odors. Okay, the smells. Okay, it can cause odors. Okay, body odors causing from the bacteria breakdown. And here is the image of the apocrine sweat gland. As I mentioned earlier, it produces the secretion into the hair follicles. Okay. Next is Merocrine sweat gland. Okay, as compared to apocrine, the Merocrine sweat glands can be found throughout the body. Okay, they are most abundant on palms and soles. The Merocrine sweat glands secrete directly on the skin surface. So, as compared to apocrine, this one, Merocrine, it does not associated with the hair follicles. Directly secrete on the skin surface. Okay, here is the image of Merocrine sweat gland, which discharge directly on the skin surface. Okay, as shown here by the red box. Alright, you have learned the hair and glands. Here comes another accessory structure, which is the nail. Okay, the nails are packed with keratin. Okay, and they are important to protect the fingers and your toes. So for nail production, it occurs in a nail root. Okay, you can see as the labeling as shown in the image here, nail root. Okay, for structure of a nail, first the nail body. Okay, the nail body is a visible portion of the nail. Okay, and it covers the nail bed, which is under the nail body. Okay, you can refer the labeling image, the nail body, where the nail body is located. Okay. Next structure is lunula. Okay, lunula is the pale crescent structure at the base of the nail. Okay, at the bottom part of the nail is lunula. Okay, it's like a crescent shape. Okay, next structure is the sides of the nails. Okay, which are surrounded by lateral nail folds. Okay. So next structure is the hyponychium. Okay. So onyx means nails. Okay. So hypo is below. Okay. So it is located below or under the distal free edge of the nail. Okay. While another structure, eponychium, okay, it is located at the tip of the proximal nail fold. Yeah? Remember proximal and distal? Okay, the terminology. Alright. Here is the image of nails and their structure. Okay. See the lunula, okay, the proximal nail fold, okay, the lateral nail fold, the eponychium, okay. And here is another image of the nail. Okay, you may find the hyponychium and eponychium. Okay. Okay, that's all for the anatomy of integumentary system. But before we end, can you answer this question? Okay, please write your answer in the under this Microsoft Teams. Okay, that's all from me. See you again in the next lecture. Okay, don't forget to fill in the attendance form. Okay, thank you and take care, everyone.